Coach, what's your favorite ball? You like them Wilsons? You like that Spalding?
Man,
What's your favorite
I'm
indoor
the
ball?
I love today's ball, man. That Wilson Evo. I don't know what it is. Like it
Hmm.
sticks and it's just perfect. I think that's my favorite one. But before it was always the Spalding. Always the Spalding.
Okay, just because you knew the NBA was using it,
Oh yeah,
and
just because the NBA was using it. Like, man, I want to be just
yeah.
like these guys and have everything they have. So
Is there anything better than a trip getting ready? Nope. For a long journey where our podcast released a new epi, searching for a fade fiend, new fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones, they gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, text some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talking wisdom I know.
Welcome in, everyone. Episode 75. Feel the deal with our guest coach, Tory Stamps. I'm sorry, coach. I had to go with a title that had something to do with stamps. You don't meet somebody with stamps every now and then, so I
for
thought
sure.
I would be punny with the name Seal the Deal. I won't give you no more, coach. I won't give you no more. But I had to start. I had to start with it. So, coach, thanks for joining us today. For those who don't know, coach was flexible. Coach about that action. He was like, man, let's get this thing done. And most
Right.
people, they try to big time coach and go, well, let me look at my schedule. But coach said, man, what we trying to do? What you want to do? So I appreciate that, coach. You're a man of action, which is got another reason why I was like, seal the deal. I felt like you're a man of action. So, coach, let's talk about a little bit about you. Coach,
Yep.
where'd you grow up at? Where you from?
Yeah, man. So I grew up in Fresno, California. It's the Central Valley. So it's about 4 hours away from LA, 2 from the Bay. I grew up all over, man. It's a city of, you have to do two things. You're either in the streets or you're playing sports. And, I was grateful enough to be, pretty good at basketball, a lot of hard work and, had a lot of great mentors and coaches on the way too, man. So Fresno's my hometown, forever rep it. That's why I want to get back here to, coaching and give back to this next generation of kids and, give them the knowledge I didn't have growing up as a kid and, giving back everything that I know now that I didn't know as a player growing up. So, yeah, I'm from Fresno, man, the 559.
If I could give some of our listeners a little more context, when Karate Kid moved to California, wasn't that Fresno area?
Yep, most definitely. It was. Yep.
And then, so, coach, how'd y'all get Paul George to come to Fresno State to play basketball? What's the draw?
Man, there's really no draw in Fresno. So that staff did a great job of recruiting him. That was fun times too when they played, man. That's when Fresno State was kind of at their peak. They had a lot of battles. Jimmy Fredette played for BYU. Quad played for San Diego State. So basketball at that time in the Mountain West was fun, but having Paul George here was huge, and he still comes back, rep everything. So, yeah, I don't know how that staff got it done, but they did it, man. It was a great time, to watch some basketball. He was a special player.
Melvin Eli, he played in the NBA. Did he play with the Rocket?
Yeah, played for the Rockets. He played for the Clippers. He had a few stints with a few teams. But yeah, man, he was on
Yeah.
that team with I believe his coach was Tarkanian, but don't quote me on that. But yeah, those Fresno State teams was fun, man. Chris Herron, Dominique Young, Tark the
Yeah.
Shark. Those were some great teams.
What about Rod Higgins? Was he a local guy or he came from somewhere else?
I believe he came from somewhere else, but
All right.
I'm not too sure though. But I believe he came from somewhere else.
I mean, I know you from Fresno, but for everybody else, this is the most Fresno State. They the Bulldogs, right?
Yep, Fresno State Bulldogs, correct. Yep.
This is the most Fresno State Bulldogs outside of the 559 talk.
Oh, for 100% for sure. 100% for sure.
I don't even pledge allegiance. I lived in California, but that was down in Los Angeles. I'm definitely SoCal, but I ain't gonna lie. I spent a lot of time couch surfing up in San Francisco. So I still do that NorCal thing a lot. All right, so coach, you said growing up, who put that basketball in your hand first? What got you over to basketball?
Yeah, man. So all my cousins and uncles, my pops played. So really just came up with it. My cousin Ryan Randolph, who was close, played at Edison. They were the best high school at the time, and I was always around him. So just being around him and being around all my uncles who played, family reunions. We'll have big basketball games, and bunch of trash talking and all that stuff. So really just the family competitive spirit, and just having all those guys who played and who loved the game, and they used to have the PlayStations back then, playing the NBA Live on the PlayStations, and
Yeah.
kind of basketball is everything. Then we're all Lakers fans and watching Kobe and Shaq win the championships, and man, it was just coming up was just a great era of basketball for me. So
Coach, I'm a little curious then. You brought it up, so I'm just gonna stay there with it. Coach, you the nicest in your family? I mean, it sounds like if y'all was getting through, you didn't say nothing. You didn't say it like, man, I be dominating. You didn't say nothing. So sound like that family
now
is
coming
serious.
up as I got older, I was the best, man. I don't think nobody can I don't think nobody can get with me. Obviously I struggle come up because they didn't give you no foul calls, and they just beating you up. Use the little bro to everybody. So, but yeah, man, I think I'm the best. I don't think nobody can. Obviously they're all older now, so I kind of, even my cousins, I'm like, look, man, I was like, let's go out here and hoop, and I know you can't guard me no more, and all that stuff. So, it's kind of fun. Even with basketball debate, the eras, this era now versus the 2000s, it's just tough. So, I will say I'm the best, though.
So, Coach, let's talk about high school then. So, you was a baller. You were definitely focused on it, right? Or were you playing other sports in high school?
Man, so it's crazy. So I only played basketball. The one time I went for football, Buchanan High School, man, big, country white boys, and the first time I got hit, I went home like, Dad, look, they got it, man. I'm not playing. I'm gonna stick to the hoops, and I'm out there on the court every day playing. So, basketball really, man, and they did a good job of just keeping us busy year round. Like we'll play this, the high school, middle school season. We played 30 plus games, and in the summer we're playing 60 games, 60 plus games, which is just nonstop. And it was kind of different nowadays. Like, got kids kind of get burnt out, fatigued, or kind of entitled. And but my generation of guys, like, we were always in the gym playing. If we weren't at we weren't at games, we're at the park, and all that stuff. So just really just being around the game, and just being able to just play it so much. I think that was really good for us, and that's kind of what I think these kids lack nowadays. They don't have, like everybody said, they don't really have imagination for the game.
So, Coach, what did this is don't be humble right here, Coach. Don't be humble.
Mhm.
This is your time because we want to know your high school. What's the best y'all did? Y'all made it to regionals. Y'all made it to state playoffs.
State playoffs, yeah. So my freshman year, I went to Central High School. Um, Head coach was Lauren LeBeau, great coach. Um, when I tell you those are the most talented guys I ever seen. From the sophomores, the juniors, and seniors, man, those guys were special, man. Like, in practice, it was a brawl. Guys want to rip your arm off. It was just crazy, man. And ever since then, I'm like, dang, like, if you really want to do this basketball stuff, you really gotta go in there with that mentality and attitude of just hard work and wanting to get better. So, yeah, man, just that. I think that setting the tone my freshman year. The coaching staff did a great job, man, and that's kind of why I am today, man. Those guys would do anything for me. I didn't have a refrigerator in my home, and those guys went out and brought me a refrigerator the next day, man. So it's just crazy, man. And I'm forever grateful for those coaches.
But hey, we gonna get back to that, Coach. Hey, Coach, when I moved to California, I'm an East Coast dude, Coach, and I want to talk a little bit about that later. But hey, Coach, there ain't no place outside of California when you move into a spot and there ain't no fridge. What's that about? Talk to me about that, Coach, because I bet for some of our listeners, this is their first time hearing about that.
Yeah, man.
Why people gotta take refrigerators with them?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. So, my this coming up at the time, family didn't have much. We just got a house, and there was no refrigerator in the crib, and it was just, you use all your money just get in the crib. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, okay, so there's no fridge. And me, like, at the time, I never used to ask people for nothing. And the coaches kind of see, something's bothering me. I told them, like, look, it's like, we don't have this in our house, and if we did, it'd be like a huge help. And I kid you not, the next day later, those guys came with a truck and brought us a fridge, man. It was I knew then, like, these guys were like the coaches I want to fight for every day. So,
Coach, what were you known for as a player in high school? What were you?
man, yeah, everybody just called me a bully, just James Harden-esque, just getting to the basket, not dribbling so much, just really scoring and, versatile. I was one of the few guys on my high school team that played the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So just being versatile and just being able to do different things.
What was your wait? You played the 5. Coach, what size were you senior year?
I was
Height
about
and weight.
6'3", about 225. But the thing is, so in Fresno, the five is a little different here. So the 1-5 are like the 1 and 2 dribble drive offense. The four is the essentially your traditional 5 man. So I was able to play, all those positions. So in Fresno, there's not a lot of height. I think my class was like really the last of it. So you can really get away with being an undersized, that 4 or 5 man.
Oh, okay. Coach, were you a rim rocker? Did you have to you
Uh
used to levitate a little
not
bit?
not Not so much, man. But you get up there once or twice. But really, man, I'm not saying I'm James Harden, but similar to him, a lot of layups, a lot of threes, pull ups and stuff like that. So
I'm gonna get off of high school shortly, but this is the
yep.
time we want to know. All right, think about it. What was your best game? Give me. I'm gonna just say senior year, but what was your best game? Did you ever get? Especially like if you was playing at that 4-5, maybe you got a bunch of rebounds. You get any
Yeah.
30, 20, 10s?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have no 30-point games till I got to college. But
Yeah.
high school, it's probably like 20 and 12, 20, 10 around there. That was kind of like a annual thing because my team was so talented. Like you couldn't help off nobody. Point guard's really good. The wings were really good. You had another guy in the backcourt with me who was really good. So my team was like really my class was really special. So a lot of 2010, 20 and 8s and stuff like that. So
Okay, that's nice with it. So coach, it sounded like you had a good time in high school. It's senior year, you in line, maybe you brown bag lunched it, that's fine. But let's say you in the cafeteria, lunch lady in the hairnet just went schlop and put some food on that tray.
right.
Where are you sitting at? What table are you sitting at when it's time to walk up in that cafeteria?
Man, what's crazy about me? I really got along with everybody. I wasn't the guy who was like, man, I ain't sitting with this guy, that
Mhm.
guy. I really got along with anybody, so I really sit anywhere. But for the
Oh,
most part, though, I sit with the football players, basketball players, even guys who didn't even play sports. I got a connection with off the court, so I really got along with everybody, and that's kind of like I think that's why uh, today why I'm coaching. Like a lot of these kids, I can relate to all of them because I've been all of them in all their places. From being the outside person to being the athlete and all that. So I think I kind of pride myself on that, of being versatile, being able to connect with players on different facets.
coach, what when you were growing up, it sounds like you spent a lot of time in the court working on your game. Did that come naturally, or coaches started beating it into you, and then you realized, oh, yo, I like being a gym rat? Do you feel like that was inherent, or someone had to build that in you?
Nah, man. I wanted to be in the gym all the time. Like, there's points at times like, mean, now I look back and I feel bad. I used to lie to people like, hey, like, we're supposed to practice in here at this time, but I really just wanted to get in the gym. Sometimes I'll be in gyms I'm not supposed to be in. But that was just me wanting to be, the player I am. And there was a lot of us like that. Like, if we can go find a court, we're gonna go play. There was apartments, where we had a half court, and we'd go sink in there and play all the time. So it's just really just us wanting to be in the gym and wanting to work all the time. So I was kind of grateful I had running mates with me who wanted to do that as well.
Coach, what were you voted anything in high school? Like most likely to whatever. Did you get any of
Yeah.
those accolades?
So a lot of the times I got class clown, because I was always being funny. I was all the guys doing the goofy stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's really about it, man. I haven't checked my yearbook in so long, but that was really it. I was always the class clown. I was always giving people the laugh. I was the person just to lighten up the room, man. Like there's always,
Yeah.
the school I went to, there's always tension between people, gangs and whatever it is. So and I try to like just bridge the gap and just have those guys laughing and all that stuff. So um, I think that would be it.
What did those opportunities look like coming out of high school? You've already let the cat out the bag that you had those opportunities to play in college.
Yeah.
What? How many colleges? What was that
Yeah.
attention like for you?
So the journey was unique, man. So coming out of high school, my senior year, I was kind of like burnt out on basketball almost just because I played so much. So essentially, I wasn't gonna play, but I met somebody who connected me with Tony Costello. Rest in peace, Tony. Las Positas College in Livermore, California, and he brought me up there. Tony loved them. But it was just a unfortunate, event. He passed away with pancreatic cancer, days before the season. And, I went there solely on him. So it was just kind of a, weird situation. I kind of didn't give any colleges, a real chance just because I just love that coach so much, just because, he really wanted me. He wanted me to play, this position, and he was set on it. And, the guy, he essentially inserted me into the situation, right away, to playing right away. So it was a good situation.
Oh, that's good. I think you got to be in the right situation. I always hear
Yep.
about. I played with some guys, known some guys that have been in different schools, and
Yep.
after they transferred, they've always said, "Man, it wasn't the right situation. I thought I could make it work. I wasted a lot of
Yep.
time there, and then I landed in the right spot."
Right.
So glad to hear that. So was it the offense? Was it the style of play? What made you
Man,
so
so
happy with your college experience?
Man, so there was a junior college. So I was only there. I played there 1 year.
Hmm.
But Tony's credit, man, it was just the way he was as a coach. I didn't even know what his philosophies was on offense and defense. I never asked. As soon as I stepped on the court, first few days of practice, he had me playing the starting point guard position. And I never played point guard really, up until that point. So I just think then, and as soon as I enrolled, we had summer tournament, and I kind of figured out then I wasn't really a point guard. I was
Yeah,
guarding faster, smaller guys, and I've never got crossover in my life, and the guy floored me the first possession of the game. So I'm
yeah,
like, kind of a reality check, but it was good for me though. You just learning, just making sure, I was comfortable at different stuff. But I just think, man, Tony was such a great guy, and just his presence as a coach was more than enough for me to commit. Um, After that, I transferred. I went to De Anza College in Cupertino, California, with Coach Jason, coaching Coach JD basically. And he's been there forever. Another great coach, another super likable guy. But he's the type of guy. He's kind of no nonsense. So I think that's what I love most about him, and he kind of just let me be. We had another season where just so much unforeseen circumstances where players not eligible, guys getting hurt, and it was kind of a rough season. And he kind of just let me do me the second half of the season. My job on the team was to just go score points, and I did that. We beat the top ranked San Jose City with 7 players. I scored 30 points and all that stuff multiple times. So um, just both those JUCO experiences really just molded me to what I am, and just showed me that it's just started getting me to think more outside of basketball. Like, okay, now I see basketball. I knew I was really good, but my dream was always to be in the NBA, and now I'm like, okay, like, dang, is this really what I want to do? And I kind of had like an epiphany after that season where, man, I started coaching AAU, and I loved it. But I knew that I wanted to go back to college and finish my degree. So after that, I transferred. A year later, transferred to Evangel University.
hmm
Um, Another great legendary coach, Steve Jenkins, um, Hall of Fame guy, and he brought me in open arms. And I just so grateful for him because he allowed me to be the first person in my family to graduate a degree. So I kind of had a unique basketball journey, but man, it was nothing I would trade anything for. So
Coach, what's your favorite ball? You like them Wilsons? You like that Spalding?
man,
What's your favorite
I'm
indoor
the
ball?
uh I love today's ball, man. That Wilson Evo. I don't know what it is. Like, it
Hmm.
sticks and it's just perfect. I think that's my favorite one. But before, it was always the Spalding. Always the Spalding.
Okay, just because you knew the NBA was using it,
Oh yeah,
and
just because the NBA was using it. Like, man, I want to be just
yeah,
like these guys and have everything they have. So
you remember when they switched it up? Quickly it went with that different grip. What'd you think
right.
about it then? Did you like that new grip, or you was happy that they went back?
I was kind of happy they went back.
Yeah.
Just because guys were it was just weird because the guys weren't making shots. I'm like, okay, why
Ah,
are so many guys missing shots? And like, guys usually, like, it was the lowest percent of the I think shots made in a long time in the NBA. So I'm
yeah.
not a big analytics guy. I hate analytics, but I mean, that ball was just, it was terrible. So I'm glad they went back.
So we had your journey after college. What did you
Yep.
decide then? Did you consider taking any shots to go overseas, trying to see what we now call the G League? What did you think once that time was up? Oh, and congratulations being your first in your family to get that piece of paper.
Yep.
Well
Yep.
done. But what were those decisions like when college was over?
Man, so after college is over, obviously you have some interest, playing college ball because pro ball because there's just so many teams professionally. So went to Bosnia during that COVID year. It was kind of but I already knew I wanted to coach. So after that, I went back to Evangel, went on staff with them, where I graduated from, and they gave me 3 to 4 great years of just learning how to do everything. So if I was washing the jerseys, I'm watching, working out the kids, I'm on the court doing stuff, I'm doing the practice plan, help doing the scatter report, just doing everything, and I'm grateful they let me to do that because a lot of people my age don't be able to get to do that kind of experience right out the gate. So like I said, I've been grateful, and those guys been great. The current coach, Bert Cable, there, he's probably my favorite boss ever. I told him if they ever get more money for another coach, like I want to come back because, like you want to work for guys like that who's selfless, who's
Yeah.
about the team, a great person, treats everybody the same. So, yeah, man, just Evangel always has a special place in my heart. So. Then after that, went to Sunrise though.
So what's Sunrise like? Where and this is where you are currently, but what was the draw and what keeps you there?
So Sunrise, man, was when you talk about elite talent for basketball. Last year, they had the high school team alone had Modest Brazelis, Leighton Blocker, Scotty Middleton, Miro Little. So they had a bunch of ESPN guys. And the prep side, they had Kevin Overton, Javion Guy King, Cooper Bowser, a bunch of guys who are playing, Division I basketball and playing at a high rate, and impacting the game, right now. So just going from where I've been to elite talent was kind of a big, like, dang, like, these guys are really good. But the thing that sets them apart, those guys want to be in the gym, man. They're like workaholics. Like guys used to text me every day, like, "Coach, let's get in the gym. Let's get in the gym." Like I'm like, dang, like you guys are wearing me out, and it's supposed to be the other way around. So, just elite talent, but also, man, people when I've never met so many nice people in my life, man. The people there are so nice. Like when I got there, I'm like, dang, like are people really this nice? Because I've never experienced anything like it. Like anybody there will give you the shirt off their back. It's just a crazy experience there. Obviously, they had elite coaches. Luke Barnwell was the high school coach at the time. Now he's at Texas Tech, and Kyle Linstead was the prep coach, who started Sunrise, and now he's back on the high school side. So, man, just being around elite talent, connecting with elite coaches, from NBA to the Division One, and I've met so many people there that I never thought I would meet. So,
And you're still at Sunrise now, Coach?
no, I'm not. So I'm currently the head coach at Florida Coastal Prep National High School.
Okay. So, what's the draw? What's the draw there? I can't say I'm familiar. I did a lot of traveling, but I'm not
So they're
familiar.
they're in Fort Walton Beach, Florida.
Okay.
Kind of a newer program. They've been around a little bit, but they're getting stuff off the ground. What I love about them, they're right on the beach. 30 seconds you can walk over to the beach.
Yeah.
They have their own facilities. Just a big time situation. I was kind of first, like their first big major hire for a coach. I kind of got it in over my head year one. I scheduled Oak Hill. We went down to Oak Hill, got the brakes beat off of us. Uh,
Oh,
but it's,
well,
it's just a great experience for the kids and kind of a bar to see where you need to be, and you want to get to that level, where Oak Hill is, and it's just a good situation where I can just go build my own thing as well too, and let me be me. So,
Coach, how far away from Mount Verde are you guys?
probably like 4 or 5 hours, so not far at all. They're on the
So you want
opposite. So we're on the Alabama coast, like that border right there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can strategically avoid them. You don't have to have them on a schedule
Oh
every
yeah.
year.
Yeah, man. Like especially this year, like Cooper Flag and those boys are real, man. real.
Oh
And I
my
try to tell
God.
people all the time. People think he's not as good as he is, but I'm like, trust me, man. Like those guys are real up there. So
Coach, as you try to build, what's going to be the draw? How are you going to be able to get the top talent so you could build a Mount Verdi? Kind of
yeah.
curious.
So I think the draw for me would be um just the basketball experience and just where I've been. Um
Yeah,
and I've been to Sunrise, I was at Evangel. Just giving back the different things I've learned,
yeah,
and just implement it all in one. Just take everything I learned from all these coaches, and put it in one. But I think the biggest one is obviously everybody's just gonna say the location, but the basketball piece, the skills training, the weight training. So you kind of just gotta separate yourself from those schools. But obviously, it's hard when you got, in Florida alone, you got Montverde, you got IMG, you got DME,
uh-huh.
then you got, really good high schools out here. So, and
Yeah.
high schools kind of changing to the point where, guys just want to go play, the best location and the best school. So, it's kind of a challenge, but I think I've done a good job of getting some really good kids here, and we had a really good team, and had a really good first half of the season.
Coach, do you have are you doing a lot of the recruiting visits or you have assistance with that?
So it's really me just showing my face. Hopefully I can get to the point where where your assistants get to do all that. But I just think, just for the meantime, I'm so connected, with a lot of people that, I have a lot of trust from people, and they trust me to do things. So, for me right now, I'm doing all this stuff.
So, Coach, the reason I asked is I got to know where your allegiances lie, Coach. I think I told you this was going to be nice and easy, but this I lied, Coach. We about to get to some heavy stuff right here. I'm about
Okay.
to,
Okay.
your listeners. You about to lose some of your. What I said you was at 11,000 on IG. You're gonna be at
Hmm.
9,000 when I'm done with you, Coach. I gotta know. I'm in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
You in Florida. I used to live in Florida, in Central Florida,
Yep.
and you from California. Coach,
Hmm.
the best ball players at. Now I'm gonna give you a quick second. The Clippers, they doing their thing right now. They're
Hmm.
number 4 in the Western standings,
Yep.
and all the boys from California,
Uh,
Westbrook, Harden,
yeah.
Kawhi, they all Paul George. We already talked about, but all them boys from California. So,
For me,
Coach,
it's easy. California. It's no, no,
wait,
no.
what?
It's California. No debate. No debate.
Coach,
No debate.
them Florida boys is different. You been
They
down to
are.
Miami, Coach?
Oh yeah. They different, but for me, is I think as a whole, man, California is different. It's different. Even now, we got a bunch of dudes in the league, and we got a bunch of dudes that's going to be in the league here soon. I even think from the high school standpoint.
Yeah.
We got a lot of great ballers that's up and coming right now, and the senior class I think this year can go compete with anybody. If we did state by state, take the top 12 seniors from each state, I think California will come out one or two. So
Oh, that's saying a lot, Coach. That's okay.
yeah,
All right. I'm gonna press you one more on that. I'm pressing you on one more of that,
okay.
Coach. I just I don't really know how I really can get this to you. All right, so Coach, what you got it? You got any shot getting some of those kids from California? Since you
Um,
leaning so hard with them, is there any opportunities, or is that a hard thing to try to pull off?
um, California kids so tough to get, um,
Figure.
just because um, it's just so far away from home.
Yeah,
And why leave California to go to Florida? You know, California high school is really good. Especially in SoCal. And it's the same
yeah,
thing for Texas. You know, people had to scrape and fight for Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson didn't want to leave,
yeah.
so it's just hard for kids who are really that good. They're gonna be good wherever they go. Regardless of the high school. So, um, you really got to sell these kids nowadays just to get them to go, because a lot of these kids are staying at their normal high schools now. So, it's kind of been a hard thing to get around, and recruit kids with.
Let's get to your coaching style. Coach,
Yep.
are you what we call a player's coach? Are you X's and O's, stick to the system? If I'm a street ball legend, you don't want nothing to do with me because I'm too street. Like which way do you go, Coach?
Yeah, man. So I think my basic principles, I'm a motion offense type of guy. So I give you a bunch of freedom, screens, read and react, a lot of threes, a lot of great ball movement, similar to the Warriors. Uh, but there's always going to be that one or two guys you have on your team who can just go get a bucket, And Kentucky this year is kind of facing that, with Rob and some of those guys where you just got to let them go. And
Yeah.
Coach Cal does a good job of, putting a leash on those guys. You got 3 or 4 times to go do it. And, if you exceed that of messing it up, then you get pulled out. So I'm a motion guy, but obviously if you have guys like that, you got to let them go. You can't hinder them. And that's only going to help your team because you makes you more dangerous, when you got a guy who can go put the ball in the hoop anytime he wants. So defensively, I'm like man to man, pack line defense, make guys shoot, muck it up a little bit. And, if I have a team who's long, lanky, and athletic, I love the press. Um, press all game and, fall back into that pack line. So I am a player's coach, though, obviously, because I played. Um, so I'm not, crazy hard on them, but you still have that fine line of, respecting the game and, doing stuff the right way. So.
So I got three items along that. You opening facilities to let people get a chance to get on that court. You and the 3-pointer and how it's affected the game. And
Yep.
then after I make a play or I dunk, how you treat me. So let's go to the first one.
Yep.
Coach, you said it yourself. You couldn't. I mean, you had to get on the court. What
Mm-hmm.
what do you say to your kids who they trying to find places to hoop? You got any connects that you around the town or anything?
Yep.
How do you help
most
them
definitely.
out? They want to get extra work.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, you hit local other high schools, ask them if they can use the gym, but also the rec center too. The rec center has been great for us, and also there's a church with the gym too. So just having to be able to have a connection with all those people all in one, to be able to let you use all their facilities and.
Coach, let's get to the second one.
Yep.
So the game has changed, Coach. I mean, I'm not saying you're an old head, but
Yep.
it ain't what it used to be, and we can
100%.
call it the Steph Curry effect.
Yep.
Are you embracing the three? You like the art of the mid range? You like to pound it down there? What's your view on all the threes that everyone wants to shoot?
Man, so it's hard to deny what's happening to the game right now. I mean, you got to take threes. The tough part about that is what I tell my kids all the time: you can shoot as many threes as you want, but you guys don't work on these. You can have a team who go shoot 23s, but realistically, how many of those guys are up there getting shot? So it's just tough, man, because everybody thinks they can shoot now. And a lot of people think they're shooters, and they're not shooters. And a lot of people don't work on their game. So the game's kind of in a funky spot because everybody thinks Steph Curry just is Steph Curry overnight, and that's not true. The guy puts in hours in the gym. He's shot thousands of shots. So, but I try to do a mixture of both. I don't like to stick a big guy down there who's not a big guy. If you're a skilled big who can pass, dribble, shoot, you only make the team that much better. Because that's kind of what the game is transitioning to. Bigger guys who are skilled. So I like to just be balanced. I mean, the more balanced you are, the better. And I think try to run some sets here and there, but for the most part, man, I just like the motion because it's so hard to guard, and Evangel does a great job of that. Just so I watch all the time. So I just think motion. I think for any coach is just a great principle to have, but obviously you got to stick to your philosophy. So,
Coach, I just came down the lane. I caught a body. I'm hanging on the rim, or I might be standing over him. Coach, what you gonna say?
Hey, man, like I said, I'm a player's coach. You can do that. Like, hey, if I'm in a game, I can't be a hypocrite because if I was in his shoes, I would do it too. Obviously, if you're talking to the point where it's like kind of crazy, okay. But if you dunk on a guy and you stare at him, okay, I have no issue with that because that's part of the game, and that's kind of an issue I have with the game today because a lot of these referees are soft. They don't allow stuff to happen. As soon as a guy dunks the ball and stares at him, it's an instant tee. So they're kind of not ruining the game, but it's not, let these kids have fun, man. But obviously keep it to a point where it's professional and you're not taking anything away.
No, I appreciate that, Coach, because that's something that I see now. I played a lot of ball. I'm not a dunker, but as you said, if I floor you, I'm
Right.
gonna stop. I'm gonna look back at you on my way to knock as I do that lay, and
100%.
then I gotta look at you on the way back up. So uh,
100%.
that's where I came from, and I was
Yep.
just kind of curious on your thoughts on that. All right, so coach, you got a kid, and I'm trying the best I can, coach. I play for you. I show up. You know
Yep.
I'm putting in the work, coach. You know I want to go play at the next level. Something tells me though, at 5'6", and I'm quick. You know I'm strong and everything.
Yep.
Ain't nobody giving me no looks, coach. What you gonna say to me?
Man, I think the biggest thing first is just being transparent with them. Hey, this is what you need to do better. Hey, well, let's watch this film and break it down on what you need to do better. Hey, are you in the gym as long as these guys are? Because a lot of stuff plays into that. Kid's just not gonna play because he's not gonna play. One, he's not good. Two, he's not putting in the work. Or three, he's not doing stuff classroom or off the court. He should be doing. So I just think those biggest three things, and I just think for me, man, I just love being transparent with the kid, letting them know because it only helps them in the long run. So, and hey, like if a kid comes up to you, like, and asks you a question why I'm not playing or like what should I do, and you give them the answer and they don't like it, and I've seen coaches like, hey, you should transfer. That's the way it is now. But I love kids who come and ask those questions because I think they're trying to get better, and I think we need more of those kids instead of I'm not saying transferring is wrong because I know there's a lot of coaches out there who do stuff. That's not it's not right. But I think kids need to go through that and go through adversity because a lot of kids go through stuff nowadays on the basketball court and they just run away from it and they still end up in that same situation they're in now. So.
But so on that same thing, coach. Okay, so say I am nice. I play for you. I'm a
Yep.
senior. Again, I am 5'6". It looks like the growing is done. But I'm averaging 20. I'm close to double digit on assists, 8 or 9. I probably
Yep.
have more. There's a couple
Yep.
people on the team that I don't know. Every time I pass it to them, I'd be expecting. So they affected my stats.
Right.
But I do everything you ask, and I am nice.
Yep.
Coach, is there pressure on you to have relationships with coaches at schools so that maybe those coaches, when you call them, you might tell them, hey, this spring I'm gonna have a little tournament or I want to have a combine and I want you guys to come. Do you feel like that is something that you can do, you currently do, you will do? Because I always wonder about that.
Yeah, man. So that's the tough thing. Obviously, I'm lucky enough to be well connected, so I can help those kids go to small schools or small junior colleges or small Christian schools or US CAA schools, and allow
Yeah.
them to go do their own thing. So I think a lot of coaches need to have that in their bag of connections, to help kids because a lot of these kids think they're Division 1, but they're not really Division 1. So I just think. Being able to help those kids get placed is really good.
Yeah. So, Coach, what do you recommend off season? Like, should I go join my church league? You want me to go to the YMCA?
Oh, there we go. Dang.
There it is. So,
Yep.
Coach, what do you want me to do in the off season? What are your recommendations? Should I be in the gym getting stronger, working on my vertical, getting this leg muscle up? Join my church league, spend that time by myself out on the court. I'm always kind of curious on what coaches recommend to players.
Yeah, man. I think the biggest thing is just work on your game, especially if you're a basketball guy who just plays basketball. Just getting shots up. I think the kids are super athletic nowadays, so that's not the issue. I just think they need to be more skilled. If it's ball handling, getting up hundreds of shots, during the summer. Uh, but I tell kids all the time, don't overexert yourself. Obviously it's time for you to relax too. But hey, play AAU, get in the gym, work, just be around your family. But if you're a guy who wants to be a scholarship player, man, you got to be in the gym, majority of the summer. And playing, try to play AAU if you can, because that'll obviously boost your stock. And I just think just playing basketball in general, man, just having, like I said earlier, kids these days don't have an imagination. Like they train so much, but when they get to the game, those moves don't work because they don't have a defender actually in front of them. So I love when kids just go play basketball because that's what I did growing up. Like I was at the park from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. We're out there all day playing. So just them having that imagination and playing more. I would tell any kid that, from my program to any program, just to go play, especially go play against grown men at that. So
Yeah, Coach, I know that there is something to be said about working hard, and that's cool. That's cool. Those are the great stories
right,
of everybody that spends the time. But Coach, what happens when you get like, yo, I don't even have to try, and it comes to me when you have those players, Coach. You you got to coach them a little different.
yeah,
There's differences here. You ain't
oh, for
telling
sure,
me to go and spend hours upon hours in the gym because you like this 25 that I give you every night.
right,
What do you say about those for young coaches that are out there, teammates of listeners that are out here?
yeah.
What do you say to those guys?
Obviously every coach is gonna have a kid like that, so
Yeah.
that's first and foremost. I think second, you have to find out, how they're wired and what motivates them, because they're gonna be motivated a lot differently than a kid who wants to get to the next level and do anything he can. So, hey, maybe he doesn't need to be in the gym, all summer. Maybe he needs to be in there 2 or 3 times a week, getting shots up. If it's skills training, strength training, but just trying to find ways just to motivate them. Obviously, those guys are your better players. So hey, like, if you want to be a high major player, this is what you're gonna have to do this summer. These type of workouts. If you want to go straight to the G League, this is what you're gonna have to do. On a daily basis. So just trying to just see how they're wired and try to get them to obviously get to that hardworking next level that they can achieve. So obviously they're going to be treated a little different, but just trying to get them wired, to get up there, because those guys who are 5-star kids and who want to go to the league, those guys are on like nonstop go. Like they're in the gym all the time. So and I've seen it, and I know it can be done. So
Yeah, I've seen some of those guys, and to your point, there were other things they needed to work on. They needed to focus on the grades. They need to spend some time on social skills to learn to be a good teammate, to open
yep,
up their
yep,
eyes, to not be such a prima donna. And those are some of
yep.
the things that they need to do. So I was just kind of curious if you're telling them to go join a karate school or something, go learn some teamwork or some
Right,
discipline outside of the court stuff
right.
to
But
teach
I
them.
love I love multi-sport athletes. So I tell kids, hey, especially high school kids, go play 2, 3, because you learn so much different stuff. So
Good. That was the next thing I was going to say, Coach. You gonna take a multi-sport athlete? Can I play another sport and rock with you at the same time? Maybe I was a really good wrestler. I know when I was a kid, wrestling season and basketball overlapped. I ran indoor track and wrestle.
yep,
But Coach, I'm nice. I'm nice in a couple sports.
yep.
What say you when I tell you I gotta be able to do this other sport? I love it.
Yeah. I say do it. Obviously, you're gonna have to come to terms with your playing time and all that stuff. But as long as you're upfront and honest about it, not just missing just to miss, and you actually just doing the sport that you love, man, I'm all for it. If a kid wants to go run track, go run track, because your endurance and the different type of stuff that you learn in track, you won't be able to get in basketball. So I'm all for the multi-sport athlete kids.
Okay. Coach, when do you think a person needs to choose or specialize though? Do you think that ever has to happen?
Man, I think so. I kind of think high school. It depends. Sophomore, junior year, maybe high school, because you really can't. You can't be. You can be great at both, but you can't really be great at both. Especially in football. If you're a quarterback, the right reads, the footwork, the throwing power. On the court as a point guard, your foot, the same thing, your footwork, the pick and roll reads, passing with both hands, shooting. So I kind of find it hard that you can be great at both and be great at all those small little things. Um, But I mean, I've seen some great players who've done both. So, but I think it has to be sophomore, junior year where you choose, because ultimately though, if you're a great football player, man, go be great. Like, go turn it up a notch. Like, I I feel like if kids choose one, they can just fully focus on that and be monsters. And I've seen that too, where a guy was really good at basketball, but he wanted to play football and chose football, and the guy turned out to be a monster. So, but like I said, I encourage both, but it has to be at some point where you choose one and really perfect that craft on that one.
Coach, what would your peers say to describe you? How would they describe you?
Man, my peers would say, I'm goofy. I love basketball. Love my family. I always put, everybody first. I'll do anything for anybody. I'm somebody that people can come talk to all the time. All the players like me. Relatable. So I think all those would be the big things, and I love all that. So
Uh, Coach, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. Who is the most interesting person in your life, and what would you do to help me get them on this podcast? They don't have to be famous, as I give you a chance to think it through, because most people squirm right here.
yeah,
That doesn't mean the richest person you know,
yeah.
unless that makes them interesting to you. They don't have to be the most famous person you know, unless that's interesting to you. But who's the most interesting person to you in
Man,
your life?
that's a great question. I've never thought about that. Obviously, man, just because I'm in the sport of basketball, I'll probably be a coach. But I've also, a great mentor of mine recently has been Jason Powell of the Clippers. He's not a coach, but he's an athletic trainer. He's been there, I think, for 15, 20 plus years. And being able to just talk to a guy who's been around the game for so long like that,
Yeah.
it's been great. Also, I probably have a few people outside of basketball who do stuff, in business and finance and stuff. But really, man, I've just been so dialed into the basketball stuff that's really all I know. So, for sure, I mean, it'd be Jason or, my guy at, where's he at? He was at Drake last year, Corey Edwards. He got a new job. So, one of the coaches, even my guy Ivan at Sunrise. So, a lot of different coaches who have a lot of different backgrounds, who come from different places, and whose upbringing has been different as well too. So.
Okay. So that second part, you put in a word for me, Coach?
Oh, most definitely. Whatever you need, man.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing with the podcast and bringing different facets of people onto it. Not just coaches, people who do business and people who do a bunch of stuff. So I love that because a lot of people are just tuned into, one thing. It's sports or it's finances or music. So I love what you're doing, man, and it's dope. And as soon as I see your message, I know it was a little bit ago. I'm like, dang, man, I love to do it, man. Love to talk about, anything like that. So.
Coach, I'm excited. I'm going to spoil it here, though, but I got an NBA coach that's going to come on, but they can't right now.
Okay.
They got to wait for the season to be over.
Yeah, those guys' schedule is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's a rule. He said the organization's rule is that
yep.
no media,
Yep.
which was a shock to me. I did not know that. Learned a lot.
Yep.
So I'm just gonna finish with one or two last questions here, Coach.
Okay.
One, what's your game looking like now, and how often are you playing, Coach? That's what we got.
So I'm getting back into the playing shape, because a lot of kids think they can beat you, so you got to go out there and storm at the time. But I'm finally getting my win back, getting back in shape. But the game's more. I'm shooting a lot more. Unfortunately, everything else goes, but your shooting don't ever go away. So I'm shooting more. I'm passing and just trying to teach these guys different stuff, and obviously I played around great players, so just be able to work out, and I work out with some of the kids. Hey, like this is when I see a defender come out this way, this is what I would do, and stuff like that. So just be able to work out and just play with the kids have been great for me, and getting back in shape.
2 questions left, Coach. First question. Coach, what's the biggest regret in your life that you have?
I think the biggest regret of my life, uh, I got a few. I think the biggest regret is just, uh, I mean, all basketball related, of course. I just think the biggest one, I turned down a really big time Division I job, um, just because I I felt like I wasn't prepared for it at the time.
Yeah.
But now looking back at it, I wish I would have done it, just thrown into the fire.
Yeah.
The coach was crazy though, but it would have been worth it. But I think that's been my biggest regret because I think about that all the time. Like, dang, like I really got offered a position, you know, in a business. It's really hard to get into. So uh, definitely that one.
Okay. And then last, coach, and this is the self-promotion part. How can the listeners, how can they find you? How can they stay in tune?
Yep,
What are the ways that we can follow and stay connected?
for sure, man. I use a lot of Instagram and Twitter. That's all the same. Coach T Stamps is the handle for both, and you know, obviously all my stuff centered around basketball. So you know, I do a lot of you know, breakdowns of players. You know, a lot of offensive breakdowns, a lot of NBA stuff, and stuff like that. So, and I love interacting with people too. I'm not the type of person who just stuck up and is going to dub you because I don't know who you are, because I don't want to talk. I love talking to people. That's, like I said, that's one thing I pride me on. And anybody can reach out to me at any time. Love to answer questions, phone, whatever you need, man. I'll answer it and, you know, answer the best I can and help you out, or if you want to get coaching, get started coaching. And I know I have a few spots where, you know, coaches need help, and I love to help people. So.
Yeah. Coach, this was awesome. I'm looking at the time and I can't even, well, I mean, I know we wanted to get this amount of time, but we're here quick.
Right.
I always like to say, Coach,
Right.
that means we left some meat on the bone because there's so much more I didn't even get to. I see there's at least 3 more things here that were burning that I
Right.
want to get to, but that's fine. And then, Coach, maybe I could even bring you back and we can do a little
Yep, for sure.
NBA wrap up, maybe somewhere closer to
For sure.
towards the back end of the season. We could talk a little
Sure.
NBA. You have some back and
For
forth.
sure, 100%. I love that. I watch a lot of NBA and study it, so I love it.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay, I'm looking forward to that, Coach. I'm going to hold you to that.
Yep.
Everybody,
For sure.
thanks for listening.
Nah, most definitely. Just let me know.
This was awesome. Coach Tory Stamps, everyone. Please follow him. And hey, good luck. Good luck, Coach. Good luck with everything. You're one of the good ones. This was great.
I appreciate it, man. I'll definitely be in contact with you, man. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Have a good one.